Hello, I'm Ursula, I make comics, and this week I challenged our viewers to create a wordless comic as a single page. And today I'm going to choose a winner, and that winner will have their work promoted at the end of this video. So make sure to stick through the whole thing and give them lots of love. And of course, all of our participants are listed down below. But before we get into our participants, I want to talk about next week's challenge. So next week, we're gonna start working on a comic all together. And we're gonna reveal how this will all work over time. But together, we are all going to make an 8-page comic. And every step of the way, we're going to be picking a winner. That winner's work will move on to the next stage, etc. And by the end, we'll have a beautiful 8-page comic. So, don't worry about that. All you need to do this week is you need to write out 4 plot ideas for an 8-page comic. And each idea should be using a different piece of the lace method for plots. So, I want 4 versions. I want one that is a location plot. That's the L in lace. A location plot essentially means that people go to a place and the story ends when they leave that place. For example, you need to go to the store to make cupcakes. You go to the store, you leave the store. That's the story. Then I want an answer plot. So an answer plot happens when a question is asked and it ends when the question is answered. For example, who ate all the cupcakes? The answer, you find out it was your cat. End of story. Then I want a character plot. A character plot is when a character has a flaw, and then by the end of the story, they overcome that flaw or succumb to it, or they change in some way. But by the end of the story, she learns to love cupcakes, or she still hates cupcakes, but that's okay. Then, lastly, I want an event plot. And an event plot is when something happens and the story ends when that thing is resolved. So, for example, you drop your cupcakes on the floor, so instead, you go buy ice cream. Essentially, no matter what happens, you have a status quo. Things start one way, plot happens. By the end of the story, there is a new status quo. Something has changed. And like I said, I want 4 different versions. I want 1 location plot. I want 1 location plot, 1 answer plot, 1 character plot, and 1 event plot. And these need to be short, for it is only for 8 pages. That is a tiny story. And they can all be related. They could overlap if you want, but they can also be totally unrelated, just different ideas. Just put down whatever you like. If you are interested in joining this challenge and following through, help us make this lovely little comic, you can join our Discord. It is linked down below. There's a section called Challenges, which is where you will find all the information you need about this week's challenge. You can submit your stuff there. And next week, we'll choose a winner, and that winner will have their work promoted on the video. So, I'll see you there. Now, on to this week's contestants. So first we have Achilles. So for one, the characters in this are adorable. I love the kind of play between establishing shots where we set up like where we are, what we're looking at, who's in the scene, and then going to these really like focus shots like of putting like the food on the plate. They're just really, really nice. The show of emotion from the character, it's a really nice back and forth, and everything is so cute. The only thing that I think needs a little work is the last panel feels a little too pushed off to like the side and corner. I think that just needs like a little bit more room to breathe, and then this one would be so perfect. But amazing work. This one is adorable. Thank you for submitting. Next we have Cinti. This one has a nice like emotional arc. It really hits that the main character is sad about losing their bread. And I think the setup of this is really, really strong. I just like the emotional setup of the character. It's well established. And I like the jump between the character's expression and then what they're doing. It's really nice. The only thing I'm having trouble with this one is that I find that the blocking is a little confusing. Blocking mean like where characters are in a setting, like what the setting looks like as well. I think it might be that there isn't really a full establishing shot of where everything is, so I'm a little confused about where the bird is flying in from to steal the breakfast. But amazing work. Next we have Rat. So the story for this one is great. I really like the setup of the cat approaching from like early on in like the first panel. And then the last panel of the cat is so good. It's nicely paced. I really, really like the pacing and the story and the setup. It's really, really cute. It's very simple, but very effective. The only thing, again with this one, I think it's also missing an establishing shot where I can see like the full layout of the kitchen as like the breakfast is being made, as the cat approaches. For example, I think like the panel where the character is like buttering the toast would have been a good opportunity for that like full look at the whole setting, or another panel setting that up. But otherwise, this is fantastic. Really, really cute. Next we have Amu. So I thought the inclusion of the pet through the whole thing was really great. I like how in a lot of these, like we have the pet sneaking in to steal the breakfast. I like how the pet is just kind of there through it all, just like on the shoulder, hanging out. The character expressions in this one are great. And I think the last two panels are the strongest. Like, it's very clear what's happening. It's got a nice little comedy moment. I really like the punchline. It's just really, really cute. Really great character stuff in this one. The only thing I'm having trouble with is that I find the first few panels are a little hard to follow. Again, we're missing an establishing shot where I can see where all the characters are, what the room looks like. I found that the kind of camera angles showing like where the characters are kind of jumped all over the place, and it was a little hard to tell where everything was. But really, really cute, great character work. Thank you for submitting. Next we have Quiet Universe art. I like how this one's like a little bit more of like a serious kind of story setup compared to everyone. Everyone went for like a comedy angle, which is totally fine. I think the story I set out had some comedy opportunity to it. But this one is like kind of nice and serious. It's very muted. And the panel layout is really, really cool. I like how it's not so like traditionally just like square panel, etc. I like how everything's kind of integrated and has unique panel shapes. I like the little call outs of all the expressions. It's really cool. It feels very tense and unique. The only thing is I feel like it's missing a panel at the end. So it's not missing a setup, it's missing like a resolution at the end. You have it a little bit because the fox is like kind of hiding away and trembling, and we know that our character who's making the breakfast is looking at them, but it feels like there's just one panel missing showing the characters really seeing each other in the same space and reacting to each other. It feels like there's a resolution missing. It just needs one final beat in the story. But otherwise, this one was really, really cool. I really liked the approach that Quiet Universe took. Really awesome work. Next we have Doku. This one was second in line to win. I struggled between this one and the winner. So really, really great work, Doku. I really like this one. There's a really great setup with like the coffee drip. What is it, a machine? It's not a machine. Anyways, the setup of that, where I really like how everything's laid out really well. We know where everything is. I really like how we see it in the background, and then we get a close-up, and then we get the character interacting with it, and then we have the second story going on in the background with the cat approaching, and the last two shots are just like comedic gold. Really, really funny and cute. I think the only thing, again, this one was like so close. I almost wanted to make it tie with the winner, but I'm only allowed to choose one winner. But the only thing I guess I might change is that the different close-ups of like the chair and the background and stuff make it a little hard. We kind of go back and forth a little bit, and it's a little hard to tell where everything is. But like, it's such a minor nitpick. It's not like it's unclear, but that would just be the one thing, is just keeping the backgrounds in line a little bit more. But thank you so much for submitting. This one was so good. The next one is from Rumple Tiltskin or Rumple Tea. This one has really, really cute interaction. I like the setup a lot. I like how you have these little panels showing off like the small details and like close-ups of things, like setting up like the little paw reaching, and the little call-outs of like expressions and stuff. It's really cute. I like how much there is going on. The panels are very unique. My only issue is that the camera jumps around quite a lot. Like we're looking at the same scene from many different angles, and it's a little hard to tell where everything is. It feels like every panel there's a new angle, and it's hard to kind of like put it all together in my head. It's a little confusing. I thought the first 3 panels were really strong for like the camera and the backgrounds, but after that the camera swivels around quite a bit and it's a little hard to follow through the rest of it. But really, really cute character stuff and great work. Next we have Moon Lotus Heime. This one has really, really cute character interaction, and the pacing is really nice. It's very simple, but like very effective. And I really like how all of like the major objects, like the characters, the breakfast, the counter and fridge and stuff. Like I like how everything is very like triangulated in each panel. It's very easy to follow where we are. And yeah, it's nicely paced. The only thing is that I feel like there's not enough like padding in the panels. Everything feels kind of like everything feels cropped really close to like the edges of the panels. I think there just needs to be a bit more breathing room, negative space around like our characters and focus pieces within each panel. But this one was really, really great. Such a strong contender. Next we have Jaden. I love the vibe of this one. This one feels so cozy. I think the layout of the panels is very interesting as well. And the storytelling in it is very nice. I like the setup of like them coming in, getting the pizza, getting the plate, going back to the pizza, setting it down to get their drink. Like it's nice. It works really well. There's great movement of the character and everything is really well framed. The only thing is that I find with some of the panel layout, like it just feels a little conflicting about like, it kind of breaks the flow, like where I look through the page. For example, where the bottom panels are overlapping like the character at the cupboards, it just makes those panels feel connected, and it almost makes me want to read the comic from right to left instead of left to right. Yeah, I think that could just be fixed with like moving around some of the panel placement a little bit. But really strong work. Next we have Cap and Goosey. I loved this one. This one was another contender for first place. It was really, really close between this and Doku and the winner. For one, I love the energy. I love the flashy little call-out moments as they make their breakfast. And the end of this is just so funny and cute. The story is told really, really well. I think the only issue I have is there's a little setup of the environment missing, some establishment. The panels feel very like cropped in close in most of the places where like I feel like we need a bit more panel like pulled out, focusing on the whole scene to understand where everything is. But other than that, really, really cute, really cool paneling, and really great work. And finally, we have our winner, Ramsay. Amazing work. Congratulations. So with Ramsay, I just thought this entry was really elegant. It's very minimal. It's really well thought out. It's really well paced. The environment is set up so well. I like the setup of like showing the bird sitting there, and then they get closer in the next panel, and then in the last panel they've stolen part of the breakfast. It's just very, elegant is just what comes to mind. It's just very simple. I like the top-down view of the plates as we see like the breakfast kind of being built, and they connect with the panels on top of them. And the punchline is really cute. The movement of the characters is very, very clear, and everything is blocked in really, really well. It's just a really great layout. I really like it. Amazing work, Ramsay. Thank you so much for submitting. And now we must talk about Ramsay's work, and we must all go down to the description and click the link and look at their stuff. So I want you to go check out Ramsay's Tumblr, where they have a wonderful little comic about their Warhammer fantasy character having a prophetic dream about his future. Go check it out, give it some love, give it a like, give Ramsay a follow, and show them some love. Congrats! And also make sure to check out our other participants. Everyone is linked down below. Everyone did such an amazing job. Thank you everyone who submitted. I really enjoyed looking at these. This was really fun. And make sure to check out next week's challenge. Again, in the Discord, go to the challenges tab and submit your little plot pitches. I want 4 of them. Yeah. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.